Hey guys, it's Amy with Crafts by Aimee. I know my camera's jerking a little. It's because I'm trying to fix the angle so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Get my computer stuff off my desk so that I have room. I did not wait till the last minute to print stuff today though, so I have that going for me. This stuff off my desk that I don't need. I am going to be painting today. Let's see. Hey Teri. And what else? I think I need one other one. Grab one of these. Thank you for having me today, Teri. So it is, thank you for sharing me into the group. It is 6 Eastern, 5 Central. Today we are in Cindy's Craft Sensation Community event, which is hosted by Cindy's Craft Sensations, which is Cindy, and Teri's Angels Crafting with Teri. And so today is we're celebrating the SEMIQUINCENTENNIAL, which is America's 250th birthday. And we could do either a patriotic smash can or a busted canvas. I've never done either one of them. I don't have any cans, but I did go to Hobby Lobby today. Actually, I went to Dollar Tree first, and our Dollar Tree did not have canvases that had canvas panels that matched. So I went to Hobby Lobby because a set of these canvas panels is $5. And so that makes them $1 each. I can make 5 of these canvases, busted canvases if I want it, and give the rest of the the stretch canvases to my niece if she wants them to paint on. I didn't have any of these because I had a pack of these and I used a couple of them for something, and my sister wanted them. And I said, sure, take them, She's like, I'll replace them. I have some on order. I just haven't gotten any of them in yet. Did my sister ever replace them? No. Hey, Stephanie Richard. And Stephanie from Midnight Creations by Stephanie. So I went to Hobby Lobby today and got canvases and canvas panels. So we're going to see how this works. I do have my prints printed out. I printed them out on rice paper. The good rice paper, not the crap that I use for... You just craft the lunch down there on the floor. Not the stuff that I use for my journal, because that's the crappy stuff that I don't like anymore. So I will show you what I'm using for pictures on here. And I have my paint out, so all good. And if we finish early, I do have another patriotic craft I could work on. But I don't think we will, because when do I ever actually finish a craft, let alone finish it early? So from what I can tell from busted canvases, this is our back piece. And you attach this to this. You cut this and you peel it. You pull the pieces back and either glue them with hot glue, stick fast, whatever kind of glue you want to use. So I also have my handy dandy stapler, which I need to make sure it has staples in it. Okay, good, it does. No, you have to go all the way back in place. So I have my stapler. So these are my pictures that we're going to use. This is the one that's going on this. And it is a pelican because I'm from Louisiana and our state bird is a pelican. So we're going to paint this background. This background, it's kind of a pale blue. I don't know if y'all can see the difference between the paper and the background, but it's kind of just a light difference. It's like a light blue. So we're going to paint the canvas back here light blue. And I have this to put on the inside of this because this is what's going to be peeled back. So I have this, which is just gingham paper, which it's multi-directional, so it does not matter. So that when I pull it back, it's not going to matter. And we're going to paint this side with folk art chalk paint in nautical. So we're going to paint them both, and then we're going to apply Mod Podge and put our pieces on. And I'm going to use water to do the outline of this. So let's paint. Let's get our paint on today. So we're not painting the inside of this one because we're going to put that image there, and it's not going to matter if it's painted on the inside. But we're going to paint the outside. So we are going to paint it with this nautical paint from Folk Art Chalk Paint. Which it should be pretty full coverage with chalk paint. I am going to paint the sides. So I don't think I put too much paint on here because I need to paint the whole cover. Ooh, I don't want that dripping off though. And all of these little side pieces. Because okay. Maybe I did go a slight bit overboard with the paint. Painting over. I just went a little bit overboard with the paint. But that is not a big deal. Like I said, we're painting the sides. It's not going to go to waste. And if I get it on the back here, that's not a big deal because the canvas panel is going to be attached to this, so you're not going to see that anyway. And actually, let's see. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm going to try and paint over this. I know I probably should have just scuffed this up some with my sanding block because it is a piece of like shiny paper on the back of it, so you could write on it. But since this is the whole back of the entire thing, I'm just going to put the dark blue on it so that if you turn it around, it'll look finished. So up before me in this event was Miss Stephanie with Midnight Creations by Stephanie. And up after me is Trudy with Make It Personal Kettering by Trudy. And I just found out that Kettering is like a city. I found that out yesterday. Because somebody was asking Miss Trudy if she was from Kettering. And I was like, huh? So apparently that's a city in Ohio. I'm assuming Ohio because that's where Miss Trudy is now. I think that she lives in Ohio. So yeah, I've never done a busted canvas, and I don't have any cans I almost saved a can during like Lent. My family's Catholic, so my parents and I eat a lot of tuna salad on Fridays for lunch during Lent. And I just bought one giant can of tuna to make a big batch of it. And so I tried to save the can, but for anybody that knows, tuna has a very strong smell. Smell out of your can. It doesn't always work. So yeah. Hey, Miss Sherry from Sunshine Design. She was on earlier. And Pokey's Crafting Place with Michelle, she is on later. So the lineup is continuing. Like I said, Trudy's after me, and then it's Cindy with Cindy's Craft Sensations, and then it should be Michelle with Pokey's Crafting Place with Michelle. Hey, Melissa. We're doing my first busted canvas ever today. So this is the back of my canvas panel, and this is the front of my canvas that's going to be busted up, the stretched canvas. So for those of you that don't know, the back piece is called a canvas panel, and the front is a stretched canvas because they stretched the canvas over the wood pieces. And I did paint the edges, so I am going to make sure I have these dry too. And I have my prints done. So we're getting the painting out of the way. And I just painted this because I had too much paint on the stretched canvas. Because, you know, I just squeezed it out and I went a little overboard with it. Even with painting the sides of it. And a little bit on the back. I'm not going to worry about complete full coverage for the busted canvas part. So, because I'm going to be peeling it back. So as long as you have most of it done, I feel like it's okay. I'm pretty sure my friend Liz is still working from Making Memories with Liz. But if anybody watched Liz yesterday, she was talking about how she bought a new heat tool, but it's an embossing tool, not a heat tool. And it was taking her forever to dry paint. So I got her address, and she's getting us Amazon delivery today. At least she doesn't have to worry about that. Hey, Krista. I am doing a bust canvas today because I've never done one. So why not join an event that's all smash cans and busted canvases? I've never done either of them, but I said, you know what? I'm going to join that event. And that'll just be my first time doing whichever one of those I have the stuff to do. So we are drawing our stretched canvas and our canvas panel because I decided to just paint the back of it. I mean, I didn't get Liz like the top of the line one, but I'm like, I love Liz, and I know she cannot afford to keep buying things. So I bought her one like I have, so I know it works. It's not this one. I have a different one that's from Amazon, and that's what I bought for her. So she doesn't know that she's getting that because I didn't get her address from her. I got it from a mutual friend. And the mutual friend did not ask any questions, so I said, "Hey, do you have Liz's address?" And she's like, "Give me a sec." She sent it to me. So I'm making sure all of this is dry, so I don't stick my fingers in it and mess it all up. And if my sides need more paint, I can always come back later and do that. Sometimes I do nice things for people. I thought about sending her one that I have because I do have another magnolia one that I got on clearance at Christmas time. It really wasn't clearance, but they put a lot of their stuff on there for Christmas time. They do 12 days of Christmas with magnolia. And I think the dryer was like $7 or $8 or something. So I was gonna send her one of those, but I was like, the one on Amazon was like $10. I'm like, for shipping and everything, it would be more expensive for me to send her the one that I have and just buy her one and have it shipped directly to her. Thanks, Pokey. Yeah. Sometimes I mean, I was planning on sending out Happy Mail. So, you know, sending it to somebody that I know cannot afford to keep buying new things. She is on a tight income. She basically lives paycheck to paycheck, but she still wants to craft. And I'm like, she needs some decent tools. A friend of hers, I think, got a heat gun. Not a heat gun. Gave her a glue tool. A glue gun. A new glue gun at Christmas time. So she has a nice glue tool. But she needed a new heat tool, and the one she got, it's an embossing tool. And I didn't realize that there was that much of a difference between embossing and heat tools. So, okay, there's like 2 spots on here that I'm not 100% sure if they're dry, but I'm just going to put that to the side and let it dry. Hey, Miss Trudy, I have a question. Is Kettering a city in Ohio? That's probably like the most random question, but I'm curious now. Ever since somebody asked you yesterday if you're from Kettering, I kind of figured maybe it was. Hi, Miss Ann. So I'm going to clean my stuff off real quick, and then I'm going to flip my canvas panel over, and we're going to move the other side of it. And then I'll show y'all the pattern, the picture that I have again. I showed it at the beginning, but I will show it again. And this is just my cleaner. Is Kettering a city? Like your page name, it says Make It Personal Kettering. And the other day somebody was asking you if you were from Kettering. And you said you had a shop there until the C word happened. I was just wondering if it's a city. Okay. It is. See, I'm learning all kinds of new things about people. So we are going to paint the other side of my canvas that I'm putting the inside picture on with a lighter blue. So like I said, I just painted the back of this because I had too much paint and it wasn't going to harm it to just paint the back of this. I want to make sure this is mostly dry before I flip this over. And I did get blue on here. That's not the end of the world. This is my other color I'm going to use, I think. It's called Southern Bluebell from Crafters Collection over at the Hoblobs. I'm going to try not to put as much paint on this time. If I need more, I can always get more. I don't need it to be really dark blue or anything, so I probably won't need it. I'm just painting it blue because my picture, the background, has like a blue tint to it. I printed it on A4 paper as an 8x10. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I like learning new things. For those of you that don't know, I'm a nerd. People have asked me before. Some people think that I was a teacher or I have a teaching license. I do not, because I do try to explain things as I go when I'm doing my journaling. I have never had a teacher's degree. I have never taught the class. I have a bunch of degrees, though. I have a finance degree. That's my main one. Hey, Miss Liz. So I have a finance degree. I have a marketing degree. I have a minor in management. I have a fashion merchandising degree. And I have an MBA. So I am highly qualified to do all kinds of things. A lot of them I don't want to do. I got my finance degree because I needed to pick a major, and I'm very good at math. My dad wanted me to go into accounting. I took an accounting class, and I said, that is not for me. So my finance teacher that I took as an elective was like, you should take finance as your major. You seem to be, oops, I'm knocking stuff over underneath my feet. You seem to be really good at that. So I ended up getting a finance degree. I do not want to work in real estate. I do not want to work with the stock market. So it kind of limits stuff that you can do. And I don't want a high stress job because when I was in college, I had to do a paper in one of my classes about stress. And I learned a lot about myself when I did that paper. I learned that I'm type A personality, and type A personalities are way more likely to have a heart attack. So, high stress job, type A personality, and if you have heart disease that runs in your family, even puts you at an even higher risk of having a heart attack. And guess who has 2 grandparents that died from heart-related issues? This girl. 1 on each side of the family. My grandma on my dad's side had, I think, 2 bypass surgeries that I remember. She had a quadruple bypass one time. I distinctly remember that because it was when I was not little. And then she did end up dying from heart failure. But and then my grandpa, he was in the hospital before he passed away with heart problems. And I actually have his pillow. They give you a stress pillow like to squeeze after you've had that surgery. And I have that pillow. Everybody signed it, and my grandma got it when he passed away. And she ended up giving it to me because I was going through a tough time and she didn't even know about it. But she was like, here, I want you to have this. And she also had a mini urn with some of my grandpa's ashes in it. And she was like, I think you should have this. And this was before she was even thinking about moving or anything. And she ended up moving to live in Kansas with my aunt and uncle before she passed away. But God must have been telling her, hey, your granddaughter's having a tough time. I think it would be a good idea for you to give her this pillow and the ashes now. Because I was really close with my grandpa when I was growing up. Like, until he died, I was close to my grandpa. And I was the only grandkid that, well, I don't know if it was just I was the only grandkid that could do it, but I'm the only grandkid that stood up to my grandpa. He used to try and push all my cousins around. Well, not my sister, because she wouldn't have done it either, but he'd be like, go get me water. And I'd be like, excuse me, is there a word missing out there? Um, I am not your servant. You have 2 legs. You can get up. And he was like, oh, will you please go get me some water? And I was like, that's better. I was also the only grandkid that cursed around my grandpa. I didn't feel bad about that. I mean, I'm sure that woman heard curse words in her life. Thanks, Teri. I'm glad I got it too. This is a funny story. So my grandma, when my grandpa was still alive, she hadn't dusted in like a little bit. I don't know how long it was. And my grandpa went in the dust on their their dresser and wrote, "Clean me." And my grandma went back in there and saw that, and she wrote, "F you." I love my grandma. She doesn't do things like that. So when she did that in the dust, I was like dying laughing because that is like the funniest thing ever. So this is my image that I have. It is a pelican and it's American, and this background had a little bit of blue in it. So I am gonna do the water pencil, and I'm gonna leave an area around the edges, and then if I need to, I can come in and kind of like brush it with the blue a little bit. That's one of the only reasons I don't have that in my water right now. Yeah, my grandma doesn't do that stuff, but the fact that my grandpa actually wrote that in in the dust on the dresser, my grandma was like, "Yeah, this ain't happening." And she went in there and was like, "F you." So I have a water pen. I don't know why, but I can never get this thing to work. It never wants to work for me. Where is my mat? I'm gonna get my glass mat. Apparently I forgot to clean it off. Oh well. But I have a glass mat. Yeah, I have a glass mat. I have the water pens, and I squeeze the dickens out of this, and I can never get the water to come out. So like I squeeze the dickens out of it, and I'm like, why is there no water? And I'm squeezing it. I'm pretty sure that's where you're supposed to squeeze it. So I'm gonna do the next best thing. I have water, and I have these little trays, and I'm just gonna put water in it. Hi, Nancy. Hey, Miss Bonnie. So I just sprayed some water in there, and I sprayed it away from my thing so that the image doesn't bleed. So, yeah. I was like, I don't know why, but it never wants to work for me. So, we're just, like I said, I'm leaving a little bit of space between the image and the edge of where the paper is going to end. Just getting that all wet. I'm just going to rip it across. And this is rice paper that I got from Amazon. A friend of mine recommended this brand, so I bought it. So now we're going to do the other side. And this is like, I think it's A4 paper. And I printed the image, supposedly 8 by 10, but it is not 8 by 10. It must have had like extra room around it, because when I printed it, it's not the same size as that canvas, and that canvas is 8 by 10. And I learned the thing about blending like the edges of the the paper from Kathy with Happy Crafting Circle. She was doing one with the She was doing an image one day and she did that, and I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense to like just blend it all out so that you don't see the edges as clearly. Hey Mary, welcome. Not working on a journal today. I am working with paper, rice paper, doing a busted canvas, which is new to me. But I will be working on a journal tomorrow because I will be live again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be day 9 of Crafting Street. Because I started doing lives last Tuesday and I have done a live every day, including the weekend. So I've been live since last Tuesday every day. So I hope y'all aren't getting tired of me yet. I've been trying to do different things because obviously I do a lot of work with my journal stuff. It's a big thing for me now, but trying to be different. So this is our image. We are going to put our image like this. And you're probably not even going to see these edges where I ripped it, but I might just come in and do some paint on the edges just because I have the paintbrush out. I have the paint. So we are going to do the dry method. And somebody told me to use one of these brushes for doing Mod Podge. I actually really like that brush. I usually use this mop brush because I really like this brush too. But that brush actually works really well. And I don't use it for anything, so it's just in my arsenal because I got it a long time ago. And I just didn't use it. It was just sitting in there with all the other paintbrushes, so. It actually does a really good job of spreading out the glue. It makes it to where it's not too thin, not too thick. And if I need to add more, I can. And then we'll dry this and we'll do the dry method. And while I'm doing the drying, I will turn on my iron so that we can use that. My iron doesn't take too long to turn on. And heat up, I mean, not turn on. It doesn't take any time really to turn it on. Just gotta turn it on. Right here, I just want to put a little bit more to make sure my image stays down. And I did cardstock the other day with the Mod Podge and just used a brayer, and it worked like because I didn't have so much glue on it because I used this brush. It worked amazing with just using that and just using it in a brayer. It worked really well. In fact, I could probably use it with the brayer for this too. But since I have so much glue to the edge, I don't want my brayer going in the glue. So I'm not. I'm going to dry this first. Also, with being rice paper, I'm not taking a chance. It's not very thick rice paper, but it does have like a backing on it, kind of. Maybe we'll do the wet method for the inside of the stretched canvas because we do have to do that too. I did say I was going to turn the iron on, and here's me not turning the iron on. Got the iron on, you guys. Just putting it back on its little rest that I have. And honestly, when I put this paper over this, I couldn't even see the light blue paint through the paper. But it is a pelican. For anybody that's wondering, this is a pelican that I found on Creative Fabrica. I was just looking for patriotic stuff for my junk journal, And I've saved a bunch of images because I'll put them on smaller pieces for like ephemera. And I came across this one when I was looking through my stuff the other day to find an image. And I was like, that is perfect for this because it's patriotic and it's also Louisiana because it's our state bird is the pelican. Hey, Cindy. So this is like the majority, it's dry. So we are going to put our image here. I'm just going to flatten it out some. I'm going to get my parchment paper. Don't know that my, I'm putting that in my water because I'm stupid and I realized just now that I'm going to need it out again for the other piece. And yeah, it's all blue from the water. Okay. Oh. It's a good thing it came off. All the blue came off. I just didn't want the paste to dry in it, but I'm going to need it for the other one. So our iron is ready. So we are just ironing this. My cord is getting tangled up. It really shouldn't, but it is. The reason I say it shouldn't be tangled up is because it's literally plugged into an extension cord right at the edge of this table. The table edge is like right next to where this container is right here. I just want to make sure this is down really well. And I'm not turning that off, just in case I decide I want to use it on the inside, which I don't think I'm going to, but I never know. I think that looks pretty good. What do y'all think? And then once we do the busted part, we might come in here and put some rhinestones where the stars are to make the fireworks like pop out some more. Oh, thank you. So again, pelican, and it's got the little bow and everything, and it doesn't have any wrinkles in it, thankfully. So this is our canvas that we are gonna bust. So I just painted it with Nautical from Folk Art chalk paint. And so on the inside is where you put the picture. I didn't paint this side because my picture is this. It's just gingham print on rice paper. So I'm going to take my ruler and measure this part where I'm going to need it so I can trim this down so it'll just... I might make it a little wider because I can put it under the frame some. That way it'll fit. I don't want to have to shove it too far underneath the frame. So I'm just going to measure where the wood is right here that you can see. Thanks, Missy. Thanks, Miss Sherry. So I'm measuring this, and this is about 6 1/4. This way is about 8 and 3/4. 8 3/4. I'll just do 8 1/2 because that'll just be easier. Or not 8 1/2. Yeah, 8 1/2 instead of 8 3/4. 8 1/2 by... I'll just do 6 1/2. So I'll switch this out. Paper trimmer. And I got blue paint on this end, so it's definitely being trimmed. Let's see. I'm going to wipe that off because apparently that's where it was. I don't want it to get all over the rest of the paper, so don't want that happening. Thanks. The print was from... This is from Creative Fabric. No, the Pelican was from Creative Fabrica. This was from Canva. I just looked up gingham patterns to do for this. So now we have our 8 1/2 tall. I hope that was right because now I can't remember. 8 1/2 by 6 1/2. And I'm loving this now that I changed out my blade on my trimmer. It works a heck of a lot better. Okay, I think that's gonna work. And now I know where the blue paint is coming from, because I now have blue paint on my finger. It's because of the back of the frame right there is not dry. So let's just try that real quick. Even though you're not going to see it, I don't want to keep getting paint all over my finger. I'm just going to make sure all of this is dry right here. Okay. We can try to get all of this off of my finger. And Mod Podge. Like I said, I didn't paint this part because you really can't see it through that pattern. Or at least I can't see it through that pattern. I probably could have used like my fabric glue because this canvas is fabric. I don't know that I have Mod Podge for fabric. And these canvases are pretty thick because they're from Hobby Lobby, not the Dollar Tree. Not that I wouldn't buy the Dollar Tree one, but they just didn't have, they had some canvases, but they didn't have the canvas panels and anything but like 5x7, I think, and maybe 4x6. I was like, I really don't want to do like a bunch of them, and I don't think one of them would take me that long to do if I did one that tiny. Although, I never know how long it's going to take me to do anything in this world, so. So I am pushing the paint underneath the wood piece. That way I can just stick that paper underneath there too. And I can already see my glue is drying, so we might have to do the dry method just because the glue is drying. And so if anybody likes doing busted canvases a lot, I highly suggest just going and investing in the ones from Hobby Lobby, because you get the canvas panels, it's 5 for $5. And then the big pack of 10 of the canvas frames like this, the stretched ones, are 10 for $10. So you're paying $1 per piece, whereas if you were a Dollar Tree, you would be paying $1.25 for each piece. So for each busted canvas, you'd be saving 50 cents. If you like to do them. If you don't like to do them, then don't do them. You only like to do them sporadically. Also, like I said, my store did not have this size and the 2 frames. They had like the stretched one, but they didn't have the canvas panel back part. So I'm just drying my glue. I also have some ribbon that we could do a bow once we pull the pieces back. I just want to make sure that this is on really well, since this is the part where you're going to be cutting. So we're going to be cutting this piece. It's a little tacky, but I'm okay with that. I am going to come in with the iron, you guys. I'm just pushing this in, and then I'm going to push it under the edge. And I am going to grab whatever I can find. This is just a tool for my Cricut. And I'm pushing down the paper underneath the frame to flatten it. And then I'm going to turn it around so I can see this side and do the same thing. I'm trying not to rip the paper. That's why I'm not like jamming it in there. I don't want the paper to be all messed up. I want it to actually like be flat as it can. mean, it probably is not smart to be using this metal thing that could like easily just rip through the paper to do that, but it's what I have. So that's what I'm using. And I want to make sure that this is underneath there and like dry and all of that goodness before I start cutting it to pull the pieces back. Yeah, this is my first one. I've never done one before, Liz. This is the first time. If anybody saw my post that I posted, I literally said that. It could be a success or it could be a major epic fail. Who knows? Trying to get this corner and the bottom part now. I do have a turntable that I could have put this on and I just did not. Hey, Becky, we are working on a busted canvas tonight. And I've never done one. So, y'all know I like trying new things live, even if they mess up. So this is a piece of rice paper, and it's just the gingham print. For anybody that saw my live yesterday, I was working on a junk journal, and this is the same pattern that I had on the paper that I put on the inside of my journal. I really don't want my paper ripping. Trying to be careful about it. Once I get it under the lip, it's usually I can just push it down without getting it ripped. It's just getting under the piece of wood. And I did keep my iron on because I'm going to come back in here to make sure it stays down. It seems like it's pretty well secure right here, but I want to double check. I don't want to make a mistake and have it pull up whenever I decide to, you know, cut it to pull the pieces back. This part is probably the part that's just taking the longest, just because, like I said, I don't want to rip the paper. And corners are the worst parts to try and get them to lay flat, because y'all know. Anytime, Miss Trudy. I can reply at any. I usually try to reply the same day. So I know you're going live after me, so if you want to message me after you're live or later this evening or whenever you are free, try to respond in a timely manner. So I'm just taking out my brayer real quick and going across it. Like I said, it feels like it's down pretty well. I just want to double check with the iron. So I am going to get my parchment paper back out. My iron is still heated, so I don't have to worry about that. It just doesn't get all the way in this corner like I wish it would. But we do the best we can with what we have, right? And I'm not buying myself another iron, especially since I now own 2 of these. Because one of them got misplaced for like a year. Well, it was misplaced for a month, and after a few months, I was just like, you know what, I need my iron, so I'm just going to go buy a new one. And then months after that, I found the original one in the dining room in a bag that I had taken to my sister's when I dog sat. Okay, I have a question for anybody that has done this. Do you cut this part before you attach this piece, or do you cut it after? I'm asking because I have no clue. And I apparently got dark blue paint on this, which I don't like. And I'm going to take my little plastic scraper thing and see if I can get it off. If not, it's not the end of the world, but I don't really like it. I don't want to rip my paper. So I got a little bit of it off. It is not the end of the world, though, because this is going to be like this on there, and I don't even know if you're going to see that spot, but even if you can, not a big deal. So does anybody know, when you're doing a busted canvas, do you cut the piece first and then staple the backing on? Or do you staple the back one and then cut it? I've never done this. I am going to stick my brush in the water because I do not need it for any more glue. I'm trying to cover this up. I'm just doing this because I just put that blue on that corner where the dark navy blue go. I'm thinking I kind of want to cut it before I start stapling. Just because I'll be able to see it better on this side. So I'm not really sure how many cuts you're supposed to do. Is there like a rule? I mean, y'all know how I am with rulers. Where's my ruler? Oh my god, you guys, the ruler was right in front of me. Oh my gosh. I didn't really cut all the way through. I just kind of marked where I needed it. You know what? This will be easier with the smaller. Guess what? I have a smaller ruler. Because when does Amy not have all of the things? Maybe I'll joke about it, but it comes in handy. And of course I have it in there upside down. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I totally don't know where I even just X'd this, so I am going to do this next best thing. Because I didn't poke it all the way through. I just kind of stabbed it a little bit, but it didn't even make a mark that I can see. So I'm coming back in here, and I'm making a mark where this is with this. This is a friction pen for anybody that doesn't know. Friction pens, when you put heat on them, it'll erase that little smudge. So that's the center of that. And this, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dang, I did pretty good with that. Y'all are not going to believe this, but I actually managed to get that dot exactly in the middle without having the ruler going this way. That dot is literally right in the middle of where the canvas is. I don't know how I did that. You never heard that before of them before? Yeah, they're called friction pens. They are friction, Frixion pens. These just happen to be one that are called Synergy ones, but they come in multiple colors. I have them in my junk journal kit. They're erasable too. I could erase that, but heat actually erases it also. So I'm gonna make a slight cross right here. I'm starting here, and I'm actually going through. If I think I'm going through. Okay, good, I did go through. I'm just going through 2 of my little squares directly into them, and I'm gonna do it all 4 directions. So that I have a slight opening in here that's straight. Okay, y'all want me to show you how this works? So you see the little dot still in the middle. I don't know if y'all can see it as clearly because it's kind of cut. There is a dot in the middle, and the heat tool will make it go away. It's not there anymore. There's no dot. There's no dot. They sell them at Walmart, Target. I know that Rustic Daisies with Renee, she has these pens that are for fabric, and they do the same thing, I think. They disappear with water. They're water soluble. These are heat soluble. So since this is not directional, I could put this on either way. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to put this on like this. I'm going to hope my staples are long enough because I don't know how thick this thing is. And this may not work. It worked, you guys. I'm impressed with myself. No, I do not have one of those automatic ones. Mine is a Hasselhoff. It's from Amazon. And yes, it's green, just like my mat and a lot of other things in this craft room. I also have one from Wally World. I'm not sure where it is, though. But it is also this kind. It's not an automatic one. And by automatic, I mean the kind that, like, you press the lever and it's, like, powered. Like, it'll be either rechargeable or have a cord that plugs in. So I'm making sure this is secure, you guys. This might be overkill with this number of staples, but if this turns out nice, I'm not wanting it to fall apart. Okay. Now we've got this, and I might come back with the blue paint to fix this where there's a gap right there. It's just because the panel doesn't meet up, but I might come back with blue paint to paint this so that it's not white. Okay. Let's cut some more into our canvas. This is just a one of those break apart tools where the blade snaps off at intervals. So we've got 9 minutes, you guys. I'm sorry I didn't get far, but like I said, I have never done one of these before. I don't know how far you're supposed to go down with these lines. I know nothing. I'm assuming you're supposed to go down a decent amount of the way. And I will come back in with scissors once I get this done to cut, I think, this and this and this and this. So I think I am going to do 8. And I might have come a little bit farther with that one, but it is not a big deal. So you probably could even just do 4 if you really wanted to. Just peel these back and do this. But I think I want to do the other one. So I'm just grabbing scissors and cutting them down the middle. So again, up after me is Miss Trudy, you guys. And I do not have my glue tool heated up. I'm pretty sure you can use any kind of heat. Not heat, any type of glue. I just think that people use the glue tool because that kind of heat sets fast. And so you don't have to worry about them not setting. Okay, oops, knocked over my water some. It's a good thing this girl has lots of paper towels in this room. I don't need that anymore. My glue tool doesn't take long to heat up though, you guys. And while the glue tool is heating up, I'm gonna pour that water back in this mister jar. No sense in wasting it. There wasn't a ton of water, but might as well just put it back in there. And of course, now I got water there, got water there. I don't need my heat tool. Get that back over here. So I'm not exactly 100% sure how to do this, but I know that you bend these back somewhat. And I might have to come back after I finish this and paint the frame on the inside because now I can see the natural wood. And it will probably drive me crazy. And I guess you just roll these as much as you want. So for the side ones, I only have 2 rolls. but I'm thinking for this bottom pieces, I'm going to want this. I'm doing 3 on the bottom. And then I'm just going to hold it for a second to make sure it stays. Usually what I'm going to do is press it down with this tool to make sure it stays. So I'm just rolling it in and rolling it again. And I'm just putting the glue on the canvas. And since I already had this tool out, I'm just going to use it. It's just helping me. So we actually are going to get the busted canvas done, just not the decoration part. So I will be live again tomorrow, you guys, for anybody that's wondering. In case you weren't on here earlier when I mentioned that. I will be live again tomorrow in the evening. And then I get to go back and dog sit some more. And my brother-in-law loves me because I left the house, like, he was literally driving in the driveway when I was leaving. And I was like, oh, I left some food. I was like, I don't know if you're hungry. He's like, I'm starving. I was like, well, I left Popeyes and pizza. So I was like, there's food in the kitchen in the refrigerator, because he left and there was like something from Popeyes in the refrigerator. And I don't know what it was. It could have been coleslaw or something. Oh, thanks, Teri. This folded in too much for my liking. So I kind of like the busted canvases now. And since I have all of those canvases and panels, I might have to do these more. I'm just saying. That might be another thing. I might do these for Halloween. I think that would be fun. I know that Pokey was saying that she likes Halloween. Oh, she likes Halloween. I like Halloween. It's not my favorite holiday. Christmas is, but it's up there. I do like Halloween crafts, and I love Halloween movies. I kind of like Halloween movies more than I like Christmas movies now. And that's sad because I love Christmas movies. I think this is looking really cute. I don't think that I'm going to go in with the paint just because I don't think it really needs it. You can't see it from the angle looking down on it. You can only really see it when you're looking at it from my angle because you're looking in. So I can see it here, but y'all can't see it from where you're looking at it. So I don't think that that's going to be a bad thing. Okay. We have a couple more minutes. I have these stars. Thanks, Teri. I try. I have these stars. These are buttons, and these are beads. These are natural wood ones. They're wood beads. I'm trying to decide if I want to put a couple of the stars on here, and then maybe do a bow and put it on one of the corners or something. I'm trying to think if I have rusty stars. I know I have rusty bells, but I'm not sure if I have rusty stars. I could rust these, though. I do have cinnamon. I do know how to do that now because Miss Tanya from Simply Monarch taught us that the other day when she was doing her live. Or I could put them in like 3 of the corners and put a bow in the 4th corner. If I do a bow, it is not going to be a big bow, you guys. Let me see. Where's that? I don't know if I'm going to use this fabric to do it, but I'll just show it to you because this is the fabric This is the ribbon that I have that I used on my journal. So it's just still sitting here, but I would probably just do one of those simple bows. It's like the 2 bunny ears. I don't know what this is called. When you just do a bow like this. I just remember on Full House, Danny was trying to teach Michelle to tie her shoes or something. And he was talking about the bunny. The bunny went around the tree into the hole. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? So if I do a bow, it'll probably just be like a small bow down in a corner or something. Or maybe I'll put this down here and put a bow up at the top. But like, I'm not doing a huge bow. If I do a bow, it'll be small like this. I could do a twine one. That might be cuter. What do y'all think? Should I rust the stars and do a twine bow? Obviously, I'm not going to get that done in the next minute, but I can finish it tonight because that rusting the stars is not going to take long. And doing a twine bow won't take long either. because I could just do either that twine or my thicker twine, because I do have thick twine. Let's see. I never remember how to do this. Thanks. I will see you in a few minutes, Miss Trudy. As soon as I'm off, I will be over into your live. And thanks, Miss Ann. I can never remember how to do this. I think this is how she taught me how to do this. Trap it a couple times. I leave it like that. Okay. I need my thicker scissors. Okay, guys, let's go watch Miss Trudy. I will finish this, and I think I am going to rust up those stars. So I will post a picture and share it into the group when I am finished. Let's go see Miss Trudy. Bye, guys. I'll see you again tomorrow.